Welcome back to the playoff here on Friday. That will actually find out who is going to the World Championship. 3 spots on the line, and we are here in round 4. Obviously, duelists, as we are gonna go through 5 rounds of Swiss, followed by a cut to the top 4. They need to go at least X1 to make it. And here we have 2 duelists who cannot afford to lose anymore, as they are on a 2-1 record, but obviously among the top performing European duelists, we have fresh from his victory last weekend in Germany, becoming a German national champion, Dinh-Kha. What can we say about this guy anymore? Like, he's amazing.
Yeah, this is a truly titanic matchup here, as we have Dinh-Kha, who has absolutely cemented himself as one of the legends of this game at this point, versus an old veteran, Simon He, who's been around for a long time, has done particularly well himself, even recently.
It's a clash of YCS champions, we could say.
Yeah.
Because obviously Dinh-Kha won back in the day with Prank Kids, which was just the amazing history of YCS Milan. But also Simon became a remote duo YCS champion. So it's obviously gonna be, as you would expect from a playoff, an incredible match. And it's also one between 2 decks we have not seen against each other today. And especially the one from Dinh-Kha, not a surprise. Most likely same card-by-card deck from the German National Championship, Labyrinth.
Yeah, a big fan of the Labyrinth deck. So we'll see how it works out for him, as our players look like they are now ready. Love that little pyramid formation that Dinh-Kha always seems to form here.
I was about to say peculiar choices by both in the way that they draw their cards, but yeah.
Simon was just out there setting 5, you know, immediately ready to go.
But that's actually going to be most likely from Dinh-Kha's side, and his trap heavy deck.
Really important to see who wins this dice roll here. And it looks like it was Dinh-Kha, immediately revealing Lord of the Heavenly Prison.
Yeah, compared to other Labyrinth versions playing 3 copies of like Stovey, he is just playing the 1 clock for the Virus combos, which, by the way, for anyone who missed out on the finals of German Nationals, just go back and watch that game 3 because it was insane. But yeah, just 4 very solid opening.
Yeah, this is like the Goki Adamancipator combo for trap decks here, set for Reveal Prison. So Dinh-Kha off to a very good start here, and there's a lot of game-winning blowouts in his deck, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I also really like that he's on 3 Heavenly Prisons. That's something we haven't seen at all.
No,
lately.
Usually you would see it in the side deck as kind of a going first card, but his main deck in 3. On the other hand, as you can see, Simon on the Runic Furier deck, which, by the way, funnily enough, was popularized, if not invented, by Dinh-Kha himself at YCS London, so yeah.
So the Runic deck, I think, is not... I don't know, I wouldn't say they're at a major disadvantage in this matchup, right? Like, you can kind of grind out of
absolutely
trap cards, right? So,
ooh,
it's a big skill drain coming down here from Dinh-Kha.
Yeah, do we see a Runic Distraction, or is that gonna stick? Because if it does, I don't think you have many outs to it outside of Tip and Distraction, obviously. Yeah,
they're the only ones. And doesn't seem like Simon has any response to this.
Okay.
Oh, hard draws Fountain. That is actually a really good spot to be in here. Now, do we have another Runic to trigger this Fountain? Yes, we do!
Okay. The best one.
Wow.
Runic Tip here.
This is insane, because now he obviously can get access to the Distraction and draw 3 cards. Wow.
What an opening from Simon here.
You know, I'm curious how you feel about the fact that he actually opened the Fountain. Because sometimes maybe you just activate the Fountain and then go with the Runic spell just to get some value immediately, but I suppose because you have the Tip, you can afford it.
Exactly. I don't mind it because of that reason specifically. Did he actually search for a fountain?
Another fountain?
Yeah. Wow.
And Terrors of the Overroot here.
Really?
Has been banished.
That's an interesting choice by Simon.
I think he's just trying to dig for, I suppose, just as much
Yeah, the
resources
skill
as
drain
possible
resolved.
here.
I don't know what Simon is on about. I think he forgot that that was not going to resolve. And I thought he meant to add the fountain with the Yugin, but this is actually a big misstep here from Simon. Wow.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, that was surprising to me. I don't know, for some reason he thought he was resolving Yugin.
Can you add fountain? You can add fountain.
You can,
it's a legal target,
you
right?
can. That's why I was
Okay.
like, there is no reason to add that.
Yeah,
Obviously you get distraction. Wow. Unfortunately, Simon...
just subconsciously resolving fountain, resolving Hugin there.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's not the end of the world. You can draw 3 cards now with the fountain, but that's a big deal. Yeah. Gonna read the Terrors of the Overroot, but yeah, not like he can do much at the moment. It's getting banished.
All right. We still do get to resolve the fountain, regardless of the fountain add there. I mean, I suppose it's not a completely horrible situation.
No,
you can activate a second one that you just searched, and maybe if you have more runics, you can
I guess.
still get some value. It's not terrible.
Okay, he gets the Fossil Dig.
Still no destruction picked up, it looks like.
Yeah.
What's he playing destruction at? It looks like a one-of, right?
No, I would expect it to be a 3-of.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
3 destruction.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
okay. You can draw that here, so.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Fur Hire variant? We saw Live Twin Sprite was on stream earlier. Do we have any thoughts on the Fur Hire version?
I think I do like the Live Twin more. At the same time, they are very similar but very different. You know, I think it depends on the popularity of Nibiru. I think that's the #1 issue, because if Nibiru is popular, then you cannot really afford to play Furier. But if it's not, Furier is much better. Like the combo is much more threatening. Drawing like 5 cards consistently,
That's insane,
crazy.
Yeah. Folgo finally getting its time in the sun here after quite a almost old card at this point, it feels like. And the Rex support for Fur Hire really took this deck to a whole new level.
Wow, and another interesting choice here, I would say, from Dinh-Kha.
He had it in, right?
Yeah, because no, basically what he did was he went for Ariane, which would be negated by skill drain in the next turn. So I would have expected a lady to come down, I guess, to just play more safely. But I mean, now we can use in another chain Heavenly Prison to set a card, because the effect is just from the end, I think, or maybe no. Let me check.
What did we summon with Welcome here?
The lady. Not the lady. Ariane.
Ariane.
Arianna.
Okay.
That's why I was surprised by Arianna coming down. Let me check, because I'm not sure whether the Heavenly triggers once it's summoned.
I think it's on summon.
Because it might be an end effect, right?
It's
No. It's an end effect. Yeah, you can resolve it. Yeah.
one spin. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So.
Did you catch what he said there? Oh, there's destruction.
I think it's the virus.
Oh, this is flashing fire to destroy the Heavenly, and now he's gonna chain the Daruma to put it face down, alongside the Yugin.
Does Flashing Fire not resolve versus a set? I think that's what Dinh-Kha is trying to aim for here, right?
Yeah, because face down monsters are still considered as special summon. I'm pretty sure.
Destroy it.
It still resolves, which, I mean, these duelists seems like they are kind of nervous. I mean, you cannot blame them. There is a lot on the line, and they are both on stream, although they have been on stream multiple times in the past. But
okay.
Yeah, what's going to happen here, as mentioned, is Arianna is going to use the effect. He's going to chain, bounce it back so he can resolve under skill drain, which is a nice play from Dinh-Kha.
Yeah, cool interaction here, and I think maybe Simon looks like he was just verifying you can use both effects on the same turn.
Yeah. No, because it's a new turn now.
Okay.
Play pass back to Dinh-Kha.
Something being clarified here.
Yeah, he just asked probably a translation for the card. I might imagine it's all in German. So. But this is pretty straightforward. It's basically a compulsory-like effect. Basically, when you have a level 8 Fiend, you can target your opponent monsters as well, but you can just use it on your own, just like he's doing here.
Yeah, this can be a pretty technical matchup, I suppose. The slow grind nature of the Runic deck versus, you know, it is a trap deck after all with Labyrinth. And yeah, this one might go all the way down to the wire here potentially. But Skill Drain is obviously putting in a lot of work at this point in time, but that fountain search by Simon really didn't help him out, did it?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Can definitely cost him the game, and would be a shame. Ooh, and as expected here, we do get to see the Virus, but quite different outcome from his finals against Tom last weekend. Only one more card getting sent to the graveyard.
So we noticed there that Evenly Matched is actually in Simon's hand there. He must have picked that up off of the fountain draw. As Dinh-Kha is going to have to consider that quite heavily with what he sets and how he progresses this his turn here, since Hugin is on the field technically set here, so the Evenly Match isn't going to be too useful now. So
honestly, just leave it there.
Yeah.
Now that you know.
And that's it.
And here you can see some interesting cards, such as the Solemn Strikes, which is main decking.
Yeah, interesting that Dinh-Kha has gone for like almost like just a full kind of stun variant of Labyrinth. You know, we've seen a couple of different variants of the deck over the course of this last year. A lot of people you know, were opting to play a lot of the furniture, as they call them, you know, the other pieces. But Dinh-Kha actually just playing the one Cook Clock and the very minimal basic Labyrinth package, and just a lot of good, strong, powerful trap cards.
Getting rid of the Slumber off the top with the Eradicator still. And as we know, he can just normal summon the Rex, but he has really no way of getting rid of this, and it seems as if he's in a tough spot. I really like Solemn Strike though, because the deck #1 weakness is Ash Blossom and Ghost Bell, and your opponent is going to keep them in hand for your Labyrinth traps. So if you have a Solemn Strike just to use on those, I think it's a really solid choice.
Crazy that Strike has just been absolutely really like sort of a staple in basically every trap deck, right? For however many years now.
It's been, I don't know.
Breakers of Shadows 2015.
And yeah, Dinh-Kha just gonna play it slow. Okay, but Nibiru picked up.
Yeah, this is where it sort of kind of feels like a bit of a chess match almost, like despite the skill drain, you know, because in Dinh-Kha's position, you really do have to fear that evenly matched.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure he's just gonna... Wow, but no spells is wow from Simon. No more spells outside of the Slumber.
Yeah, I think Dinh-Kha is kind of disappointed compared to his last Eradicator we saw resolve, you know?
So guys, as you can see, that's not a big deal. Eradicator doesn't always discard 5 cards from your opponent hand.
Yeah, like this Eradicator against Runic, you'd think it would be,
to be honest, funny enough, because like Tom was not even playing Runics, he was playing Castillo. Obviously, less
the
spells.
irony.
Yeah,
sometimes that's just how it goes. So, I mean, what do you think the ultimate like game plan here is of Dinh-Kha? Like, just try set up things in defense. Yeah, we're just gonna have to go for a full game show here. But
okay, interesting. Simon finally going for a play.
Simon trying to play here activates the effect of the Jet. Sometimes you activate that kind of stuff under a skill drain just to maybe see if your opponent does something. You know, like anything you want to check here.
But yeah, Dinh-Kha is not gonna float for it. And there is not a real way to push this. I was thinking, but yeah, there is no way to just access...
a lot of ways to like remove your own monsters from the field.
With skill drain around, it's very tough to do so. And obviously, since a Runic deck, you don't really play Zeus. So it's not like you can set on a 3000 body maybe in defense and just stall. You usually don't play Zeus, so...
Yeah, not having a battle phase in most of your turns is usually why people opt to cut Zeus from the extra deck. It can feel kind of tight sometimes deck building Runic.
Absolutely, especially the Furier version. So,
I mean, what do you think Simon's game plan here is? Just wait till you see destruction?
Unfortunately, that's it. Like that or tip, which at the same time, both of your fountains are gone. So you need to access first another. It's tough because basically you would like to do and get to the Gary. So Gary is the only way you can get fountain back, but with skill drain on the field you cannot use the Gary. So like, yeah.
It looks like on the other side Dinh-Kha is not drawing into any trap cards.
Any Labyrinth. Yeah.
At the same time here, Dinh-Kha will have to try and achieve something as setting
The only weird decision, I think, for me was not using the lady like 3 turns ago. So after he resolved the virus, since he activated the Orianna, he could have just special summoned lady in defense, which your opponent cannot really clash into it. So you would at least have that around, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then if you eventually try to get multiple big monsters in defense, like the Heavenly Prison, eventually you could try set up that game shot quite.
Because as you can see
quick.
here, he's actually getting punished by this.
He's being whittled down here by this mannequin cat, actually.
And yeah, plays just back to Dinh-Kha in what feels, as you mentioned, like a chess match more than a Yu-Gi-Oh match at the moment. And wow, actually having to face down a monster.
All right, that's a lot of sets we've got here. I was trying to think if there's any ways that you can like clear your own monster in Runic to try and resolve this evenly.
Not really.
You've got like the Tribute Rookie for hire, but that's only going to work on for hire monsters.
Yeah,
and I guess it summons anything anyway.
It
so
still
it's
summons. Yeah, because even the Donner doesn't really do anything because the first effect is not cost. The second one, you still summon something back. So here we can see an Arianna face down because it's 2100 defense potentially, if there is. But
very relevant in this situation here.
Yeah.
You know, the old set a big monster under a floodgate can can stall you enough here.
Gonna use the activation of Rex as he picked up the destruction.
Simon is pushing for a reason here, and ultimately sitting with like 6 cards in hand or something at this stage. But again, as we mentioned, I'm not sure how much you can really achieve here without destruction.
Oh, because with the skill drain being phase up,
Dinh-Kha doesn't buy the bluff, and it's just gonna wait. But again, here, what can you really do with this?
So Donner, a really good card that we've seen in many decks being played recently, just because of the genericness of it. Can you use that under skill drain?
You can use the other effect, but you can still need to special summon one.
So this isn't going to really fix the clogged evenly problem here.
Yeah. As you can see here, you still need to special summon, which is making me wondering what Simon is going for. But there is the destruction in hand. So
why, is there a reason you think we didn't just lead with destruction?
No, because honestly here you could even use the Donner and then chain the destruction. So I'm not sure where Simon is going with this. He has the Sprite starter as well, but yeah, as you mentioned, you would think that you would just use, even on the Rex effect.
Was that a pass?
Chain. Yeah.
Okay.
Did he pass? Really?
Yeah.
Simon knows something we don't hear, right? Like, is that another one?
Up, no, I think it's flashing fire. Yeah.
Okay. Well, time is a very important factor in a matchup like this. So, whoever is.
To be fair, more in the favor of Simon.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because he has access to some time management card.
No, I'm just thinking more in the terms of the long run here, right? Like if you inevitably lose this game,
I agree with you. Yeah,
you're sort of like in the grand scheme.
Definitely, but
we're just gonna loop Donners. Okay, interesting. We're striking the effect of Rex, despite it being under skill drain.
Yeah.
So I think that just gives an opportunity for Dinh-Kha to put more monsters on the field here. In defense, of course, to not be able to have that evenly match be live.
Yeah, because now, as he activated the trap, this will give Dinh-Kha an opportunity to OTK next turn, because as you can see here, he gets the big welcome. So I don't think Simon can afford to wait anymore.
Yeah.
Unless he just activates a Flashing Fire here to just clear the evenly and passes. He needs to do something.
He has 2 copies of Flashing Fire, right? He doesn't have
he has 1 destruction
right?
and flashing.
Okay.
I think.
Goes in match.
Wow.
Only being able to control 1 attribute now.
Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah, that's a pretty good 2-card combo. Eh? It goes in and skill drain, you know, that's not a lot anyone can do under that. Chains the destruction here to the Gozen. Values removing Gozen over skill drain. I guess that's why we held the destruction. I suppose Simon probably felt
and
that.
he needs to banish the top 4, which could get rid of a lot of the Labyrinth cards.
Deck out win condition, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Unjokingly, a possibility.
The special summon of starter here, I think he kind of peaked at blue for a second. I don't know how relevant it is, which sprite monster you summon here.
The thing is here, Dinh-Kha can't even afford to get rid of everything from Simon because he activated a runic. He cannot access the battle phase, so evenly is not an option anymore.
Yep.
If you were Simon, where do you go for now? Even if, you know, there's skill drain still fizz up, no battle phase.
I'm trying to think if there was like some, you know, neat little plays you could do, like Nightmare Phoenix, target skill drain, flashing fired off, but obviously you can only use it on your opponent's monsters. I don't think this deck has any tricks like that, right?
Not really, and the thing is you're up against the creator of the deck itself, so like it's tough to trick someone that knows the deck in and out, and as you know, he knows if the deck has an out to a specific situation, so...
Yeah, I think Dinh-Kha is probably quite satisfied that both fountains have been dealt with.
Yep, and I think now he's just gonna count some life points, and yeah, I think he realized that he can close this one out. It seems really convinced with the big welcome face down.
Yeah,
Super Poly, okay.
Nice one.
Oh,
yeah, this is enough.
We talked about I mentioned the starter ability to special summon. It would actually not, it wasn't relevant which one he summoned, but it turned out it was relevant because it was a dark attribute after all.
Yeah, unfortunately this was enough. I'm wondering why Simon didn't set this runic at the same time, but whatever. The game was probably lost by that point anyway, and yeah, now it's actually Simon who is gonna go first. Obviously gonna try to set up his Folgo combo, and does he have some tools for this matchup in the side deck?
Well, he is definitely siding there's a lot of anti-combo stuff, I would say here, B-Steals and Super Poly, but for Labyrinth, not really, just Ash Blossom.
Yeah, just Ash.
Ash can be huge, you know, just completely cutting them off of Welcome and their engine, but not really a lot to deal with in terms of, you know, just setting 5, right? Like, just destruction.
Because, like, for example, B-Steals are really nice against the non-trap heavy version of Labyrinth, but in this deck, I think they're pretty awful, so...
There is Wiz, I noticed, actually. Wiz is the spell and trap negate, so that's definitely an engine piece you can bring in and then special summon off of Folgo.
Which is played just because it's a spell and trap negation, no other reason. And from Dinh-Kha on the other side, though, going second, he has some interesting tools, one of which is the Sphere mode, which goes up to 3 copies.
Yes. And you do end on quite a heavy field with, if you go full combo in the Runic for a higher deck, you do sort of end on the Folgo, the Rafale, the special summon monster, potentially some sprite stuff as well. So just dropping the old Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode is a possibility.
And I mean,
I think we've seen him do it before, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially against this version of the deck, it's almost impossible that they don't have 3 monsters.
It's
so like, you could even play Kaijus. I think they are good enough. If you get rid of the Folgo, it's still decent. They can do a few cheeky plays, but like, it should be decent enough.
There's a Full Force Virus, and I'm trying to remember which type or which damage threshold.
The attack,
The attack? 25 and above with Full Force?
No, I think it's the defense. 2000 defense.
20, something like that, yeah.
We can do a quiz on it if you want later on. I think 2000 defense, or I would guess so.
1500 or less defense.
Perfect.
So that's
what I said. No. But yeah, regardless, I don't think that we are going to see that right here in Game 2. But if we ever go to Game 3, we can see another one of the Clock Virus combos from Dinh-Kha. Regardless, our duelists are ready. So let's find out the winner of Game 2.
I was talking to some of my friends before the event, and I was you know, really trying to theory out the Labyrinth deck with some of them because, I don't know, apparently they're just big fans of Labyrinth. And I was wondering, like, is there a reason that people don't play something like Waking the Dragon post-siding?
It's mostly, I want to say, because of Cash Tira, that the ability of the deck to just banish cards face down is probably one of the only ways how the card cannot trigger, I would say. Because otherwise it would have been amazing against Cash Tira as well. But I do agree with you that sometimes it isn't. But with cards like Evenly Matched and Arise Art banishing face down, maybe that's the main reason why. But I'm a fan of the card in general. Wow, we discard the Rex. So most likely we have a second copy, or already the rookie, maybe.
Yeah, so we'll see if Simon gets to pull off the full for hire combo for some of you watching just now who may have not seen this before. The general idea and win condition of this deck is that you actually summon Blade Justice for hire, who is actually generic, which is funny enough. You don't actually need to summon it with for hire monsters, and I've seen people summon summon it just with sprites and stuff, which is really funny. But the idea here is that you the full combo basically allows you to special summon the Rex from the graveyard to triggering a Dompa, which allows you to pop a face-up card. So you pop a face-up card your opponent controls. This triggers the effect of Folgo, who special summons, and then because you control 3 different for hires, you draw 3 cards on your opponent's turn, and then ideally you have your Runic set up as well, and that is also 3 more cards. So you can see potentially 6 cards a turn with this deck.
Yeah. Wow, but we do see the Ash, and this is huge because that was all Simon needed. Just a single Runic and Rex does the full combo. But this Ash is huge, and as mentioned, Dinh-Kha knows exactly when the best time to go for Ash is, which is the rookie. And wow, passes.
Wow. No sprites, no way to extend here.
Not even another Runic to just special summon and draw some cards.
I think he can draw 2 on his opponent's turn here.
But do you not go for it if you have a Runic? Like, depending on the Runic.
It depends which one, right? Yeah.
But I guess only Destruction you wouldn't use, right? Maybe,
It seems like the most important piece of this matchup's puzzle is the Runic Destruction for Simon, since there will be a lot of nasty floodgates to deal with.
And here we see 6 cards off the top from Dinh-Kha. And here is that Spear Mode alongside. Wow. Okay. I mean, don't think we are taking those, but yeah.
No, but really, like this is why I love Prosperity. I think it's such an incredible card. You have so much options available to you because you get to play. If your opponent stops you, you can dig for extenders. You can dig for a defensive card. It's such a fantastic card, especially in especially in Labyrinth, who does not care really about its extra deck.
Yeah, I would put it among the maybe top 10 or something. Most impactful Yu-Gi-Oh cards ever. It's really changed the game. And the way deck building even works.
Yeah, Dinh-Kha Bui has achieved 87% of his combo here with 4 occupied spell and trap zones. How do you feel about Extravagance in this deck over Prosperity?
I mean, usually you could see even a combination of both. But I do think Prosperity is just much better because of what you can do in the side deck, by the way. Yeah. Which is just getting 2 cards like his Sphere Mode.
And that's, again, one of the amazing points of Prosperity is that you're actually able to dig deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Post side, which is usually where you find a lot of those blowout cards.
Yeah.
And recently was limited to 1 in the OCG Forbidden Limit list.
Absolutely. Which will make things interesting, obviously, when we actually go and analyze what will go down at the World Championship later on this year.
That's a second Ash Blossom.
Yeah.
Incredible. Dinh-Kha has some control here. That's a beat for hire.
Yep. Unfortunately, it's not that bad, to be fair, but are we actually going for those? I feel like it would have been much better to go the other way around, because then you could use the beat to just search the Rafale, you know? I think kind of a interesting order from Simon.
Does he have a second for hire in the grave? No? It's a Hugin that we use.
No, he has the Rex he discarded, but you could... You literally can just use the other monster and you get a search right away, which I think is much better.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, welcome Labyrinth here. This is the engine piece that Dinh-Kha needs, and does look like Simon has... Oh, his last card in hand!
Is there a strike from Dinh-Kha, or does he even want to strike this Ash? I mean,
this is one of the better cards to cut off the Labyrinth engine, as we mentioned earlier, is the Ash Blossom. It can just sort of put you in a situation where you're just setting and passing, but as you mentioned, if he has any other of these set, he might not actually care.
Yeah, by many renamed the new Diamond Direwolf, Donner actually can only destroy monsters.
Yeah.
So it means that in this case you cannot really use the first effect, but the second one is really good. Yeah.
So the genericness of Donner, sorry, is really where it comes out here, because it is does not need a Fur-Hire Link monster.
Yeah.
As we mentioned also with the Falgo. So
yeah, just monster with different types, which, you know.
It's a big think here on this Ash Blossom by Dinh-Kha.
Yeah, there is a strike. Interesting.
Why do you think that was a bit of a think there, not just like a no-brainer? Yeah, strike the Ash, let me get my lady onto the field.
Yeah, it probably depends on what the Shu face down are, whether he can play with non-engine or whether he needs to set up is what he was thinking here. But overall, as we mentioned before, Solemn Strike is here for this exact reason. I think it makes sense to use it. But obviously, it really all depends from the last two cards. Because as you can see here, this Welcome Labyrinth does not give you an interruption by itself. It just gives you Arianna plus Lady. But what matters is what those two cards are. And hopefully the decision to link away the beat does not cost Simon, you know, this +1 that he would have got otherwise.
All right, well, Simon is on no cards here.
Yeah.
It's a pretty precarious position.
Yeah, it's gonna use the effect to bring back Rex and Beat. Now getting the search with Beat. He's reading it.
Maybe checking to see if you can only control one Rex or something.
Yeah, no. Not the case. So he's now gonna go for the effect to search Rafal.
Rafal, very cool, by the way, because it does not just add Fur-Hire cards from the top of your deck. You can dig for anything, so
yep,
that would synergize quite well with this fountain here. It's amazing. Sometimes it feels just like archetypes were just designed for each other.
But now we see the Lady come down, which means if Dinh-Kha has something good face down, it could be the end of the game and the match. So you can use the beat, which is what's going to happen here to special summon Rafal. Let's see if the effect... Ooh, and this is huge.
Wow.
Because the Rafal does not resolve, because basically it reveals excavate cards based on the different names, and face down, well, they are not really Fur-Hires, so...
Does the beat still search here? Oh,
the
beat was used
searched,
to search the Rafal, yeah. So,
no, this is...
yeah, huge. On resolution.
Yeah.
It's an incredible Book of Eclipse style effect here.
And he's playing 3 copies of the card. So
yeah, in the main deck we noticed as well, which was really cool. It's a great way to, you know, just instantly shut down Kashtira. Against link decks. It completely, you know, just sends them, and looks like Simon's just gonna have to pass here.
And yeah, unfortunately, this is huge. I think he set the big welcome, which is amazing, because now you can use the big welcome. You get another trap from Lady, and you get a draw from Arianna. This feels like it might be Dinh-Kha's match overall.
I think Dinh-Kha might have been trying to confirm with Simon which monsters were which there, but as they...
But yeah, he does not really need to tell.
Yeah, as you may have noticed from the new policy documents of the tournament updates, once things become private knowledge, they are private knowledge. There's
I mean, playing a game... so let's see. Yeah, okay. As expected, he's gonna use the effect. He could get into the Lovely, which actually I think makes sense. If he feels like it, and he gets a Terror of the Overroot face down. Nice. Interesting choice, by the way. But allows him to get rid of the fountain if he feels like it. And as expected, you get the Lovely. You get to draw a card and pop another one with the Lovely and Arianna. And this is amazing. Especially because you can special summon with the Arianna. So you basically get rid of the entire thing, left Simon top decking. And
yeah,
I don't see how he comes back from this.
Yeah, it's such a controlling position Dinh-Kha's established for himself with that, you know, the amazing little interaction between the welcome, as you've mentioned there. It's such a... Once the deck controls the field, it feels really difficult to come back from, doesn't it?
Yep. As expected, gets rid of the fountain, draws a card, special summon back the lady, and as you can see, the whole field is gone. Beautifully played by Simon. No more cards against, I think, 7 from Dinh-Kha. What a show of dominance.
Yeah, lovely blade.
Yeah, lovely sets the card. Yeah, this is,
oh, and a prison as well here with set 4.
You can see Simon smiling, and I think
maybe Evenly's like the one card that
but
could do
you can
something
pop
here.
it now, because you use the big welcome, and lady just pops the last card.
Last card in hand, yeah.
Yeah. So, as you can
Freezing
see,
curses.
he cannot actually target the lady though. He has to use it on something else. Yeah, this does not matter, I think.
I think the judge here is just clarifying when you have an illegal activation like that, if you are then made to choose another legal target, but if your initial target was illegal, you don't have to try and resolve the card, you just make an illegal activation and then go back. But
you get a warning and that's it, yeah.
Yeah, just get a warning for your troubles, but
yeah.
I think Simon's had a bit of a warning here from his Labyrinth opponent, as this is, as we mentioned, this is almost a knockout match for these two players, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. This is brutal from Simon, who time and time again got close to qualifying for the World Championship, but hasn't really managed to accomplish that yet. Still, obviously, getting into the playoff, an incredible achievement, and it does come with prizes, because obviously outside of the Another vs Dragon, you also get to start things off in day 1 with a 2-0 score record, which, you know, gives you really good chances at advancing to at least day 2 on top card.
There is some commiseration prize here, or consolation prize rather, for even just making it this far, which is, you know, an incredible achievement, as you mentioned. But 2 buys in the main event is absolutely big, right?
Yeah, it's great. Especially because you can also kind of deck build around those, because usually the first 2 rounds are really the most important one where you need to avoid decks. But
there is the handshake.
Dinh-Kha wins it, and he's gonna play it out. What a match it was. Dinh-Kha showing dominance, asserting it, I guess, and winning 2-0. And now he's gonna play it all in the last round of Swiss, where it all will come down whether he makes it to the top 4 or whether he's also knocked out.
His one singular loss has to be a pretty good loss, I would say, in the way the tiebreakers make out here, as not everyone is going to make it. It's such a tight, closed event, isn't it, with the pressure of these
exactly
players.
That's the point, especially because like now in the last round it all comes down to this, and I think he is used to this stage, honestly.
It's la creme de la creme, so like the top players in Europe, and you would expect some tough competition, and that's how things goes. But still, kudos to Simon for giving it his best. Maybe just in game 1, you know, that interaction with the Yugi and kind of forgetting it was negated by the skill drain led to an outcome of the match that maybe would have gone different. To be fair, I don't think it was guaranteed that if he searched for destruction, he would have won game 1. But regardless, they both played it out really well, and especially Dinh-Kha, which, as we mentioned, won last weekend his national championship with the deck, and he's playing a very similar deck list today. But guys, thank you for being with us once again. We have 1 more rounds of Swiss in this playoff before finding out the top 4, and then it all comes down to who are those 3.
Really intense top cut for that coveted World Championship 2023 spot.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be back with more action here from Utrecht.